What's up with it? Y'all already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. And when you come in the building, make sure that you smash on the like button and jump in the comments and let me know that y'all in the building. It's fight week, y'all. It's fight week. We got a whole lot to talk about today. A whole lot of things to talk about today. So like I said, when you come in the building, smash on that like button. Let me know you're in the building. Yes, sir. J.A. Dixon, salute. What's happening with it? Edgar Robles, what's going on with it? Salute to you. Yes, sir. And make sure that y'all smash that like button when you come in the building, because most people not getting my notifications today. I didn't even get it on my other account. So make sure that y'all smash the like button when you come in the building. Robert Mangum in the building. What's happening with it? Salute to you. Yeah, we're going to talk about it today. Like I said, we got a lot to get into. It's fight week. I can't wait to this fight that we got coming up. But we had a lot of fights this weekend we need to talk about. A lot of fights was going down this weekend, and we're going to talk about them and break them down. Yes, sir. And like I said, you come in the building, smash on the like button and jump in the comment section. Let me know y'all in the building. And so we go ahead and get it started up. So this weekend, like I said, we had a lot going on this weekend. We had one fight that I was looking forward to that a lot of people wasn't talking about just because it's women is Alicia Baumgardner. She fought Terry Harper, and that was a hell of a fight. Alicia Baumgardner and Terry Harper was a hell of a fight. While it lasted. A lot, and if you went to the betting odds, they had Terry Harper a big favorite to win that fight, and it was crazy because I'm looking at both fighters, and I know Alicia Baumgardner. A lot of people weren't familiar with her, right? She trains over there with out of the crunk. She trains over there with Tony Harrison and Tony Harrison's brother, and she could fight. I've been following her for quite some time now, and she can fight. She got a lot of power. She's explosive. She's fast. She could box well, and she could fight. And Terry Harper was the champion. And like I said, the betting odds had Terry Harper beating Alicia Baumgardner. And Alicia Baumgardner, she proved them to be wrong. She went out there. She didn't waste no time. She jumped right on Terry Harper. And the fight didn't last no time. Terry Harper, she could never get her game plan under her. Alicia Baumgardner was on her, causing her problems from the time that the bell rang. She could never get her feet up under her. And, Alicia Baumgardner, finally, I think it was in the third or the fourth round, Carter with a big shot. And I ain't really never seen nothing like this before. Terry Harper was out in the middle of the ring, out cold on her feet. She was standing with her hands down, and she was sleeping on her feet. Y'all, if y'all didn't see it, y'all got to go back and look that up on YouTube. Terry Harper versus Alicia Baumgardner. The woman, Alicia Baumgartner hit her with a nasty hook, right? And slept her while she was out on her feet. She was literally standing straight up, her legs locked in, her hands down, and she was snoring on her feet. Now, I've seen somebody out on the ropes and the ropes was holding them up, but not in the middle of the ring like this. And the referee saved her. You know, the ref saved her because if the ref hadn't came in and stopped the fight when he stopped the fight, that shit would have been real ugly, you know. And salute to the referee for stopping the fight when he did, because he could have let it continue and it would have got real ugly. Let me read some of the comments. Dante Hall, salute. He says, fam, big week, Bud week is here. You calling it Bud week, huh? So you just gonna forget about Sean Porter, huh? Eric Johnson says, salute. Got the feeling had to put some money on Porter to win. Hey, it ain't a bad bet. It's not a bad bet, man. Porter is definitely a live underdog. Mike Ryan, what's happening? Salute to you. Jesus, he says, salute from Texas. What fight will most likely happen in your opinion? Canelo versus Charlo or Benavidez? Probably Benavidez, but we're going to talk about that later on in the show. Definitely, we're going to get into all of that. Eric Johnson says her soul left for a minute. I'm telling you, her soul left her body. She was there, but her soul had left. She was dead for a minute, but she was standing straight up. I don't know. That shit was crazy. J.A. Dixon says she definitely put her on pause. Hey, she sure was. She put her on pause. That's for real. But yeah, so that was, that was one fight that we had this weekend. The only fights that I really got to catch this weekend, I caught that fight. I didn't get to catch the main event on DAZN. What's his name? What's his name? Kid Galahad. I didn't get to catch Kid Galahad. I heard some bad shit happen to him in that fight. I got to go back and watch it. I didn't get to catch that. So I did watch the Alicia Baumgartner fight. I went back and actually watched that because I was busy while it was going on. And then for the night, I saw Jose Benavidez, and I did see the David Benavidez fight. Who else fight? Something else was going on at the same time. Oh, yeah, Jaime Munguia. Let's talk about Jaime Munguia and Gabe Rosado. Let's talk about that fight. And y'all smash the like button, like I said, as you come in the building. Roxanne, salute. Robert Davis, he says it's a 48-52 Crawford odds. I ain't never heard them type of odds, man. He broke it. He said 48-52. Yeah, but salute to you. It's a close fight, definitely. But let's talk about Jaime Munguia. Let's talk about Jaime Munguia. I've never been big on Jaime Munguia because he don't got no defense. He just basically a walking punching bag that take a lot of punches in. I didn't like the level of competition that he had fought up until Saturday night. Now, Gabe Rosado, we all know that Gabe Rosado had been on a streak. Gabe Rosado had, to me, should have been a win against Daniel Jacobs. He beat Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs looked very lackluster, in that performance when he fought Gabe Rosado, and Gabe Rosado should have got the win. I think they called it a draw. And then Gabe Rosado came back with a devastating knockout against a fighter where he was a big, huge underdog. I forgot the dude's name. Let me try to find his name. I can't think of his name right now. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to find the dude's name. Bakhtemir. Yeah, Bakhtemir, right? Gabe Rosado was a huge underdog against Bakhtemir, and he came and got the devastating KO against Bakhtemir, caught him, timed him coming in, hit him with an overhand right, and, laid him out, put him to sleep. And he was losing that fight badly before he caught back to me. So Gabe Rosado, damn, actually, I'm wrong. They gave him a split decision loss. They gave him a loss against Daniel Jacobs. So he got robbed big times against Daniel Jacobs because he beat Daniel Jacobs. But anyway, Gabe Rosado looked like he was on the comeback trail, and I'm looking at Gabe Rosado's record. I did not know this man got 14 losses. Like, God damn, I thought that Gabe Rosado had somewhere around maybe 6 losses at the most, 6, 7 losses at the most. I didn't know this man had 14 L's. Gabe Rosado record is horrible. His shit is 26-14. But anyway, I still saw Gabe Rosado to be a very, very tough opponent to Jaime Munguia this weekend. And I ain't gonna lie, I picked Gabe Rosado to beat Jaime Munguia. But Jaime Munguia showed me a lot in this fight. He showed me that his defense has improved some, even though he still get hit a lot. His defense has improved some. And he showed me that he has a hell of a chin. You know what I'm saying? He has a hell of a chin. We've seen Jaime Munguia get hit with some big shots, but this weekend against Gabe Rosado was loading up. It hit Jaime Munguia with everything he had. And the thing about Jaime Munguia, if you watch him, his facial expression never changes. You never know when he's hurt. His facial expression stays the same the whole fight. If he has you hurt, facial expression is the same. If you looking at the fight and you like, okay, I know he got to be hurt, he doesn't change his facial expression. And it's crazy because, like I said, it's hard to tell when he's hurt or when you hit him with a big shot that's affected him. You can never tell. And he has a hell of a chin. That's one thing I found out about Jaime Munguia this weekend. He has a hell of a chin, and he's got a lot better with his boxing skills. And to me, Gabe Rosado, some of the rounds he did well, but Jaime Munguia was just too much for him. Jaime Munguia was like he was like a machine. That didn't matter what Gabe Rosado hit him with. He kept coming. He kept throwing punches. He don't get tired. He got a gas tank like David Benavidez. That's the one thing about Jaime Munguia. So he's getting a lot better. He's still very young. I think he's only, I don't know how old he is. He's probably I know he's not no older than 24. He's 25 years old. So Jaime Munguia is 25, but the man already got 38 fights. So he's 38-0 with 30 KOs. So Jaime Munguia this weekend, he beat up Gabe Rosado pretty bad. I mean, we've seen Gabe Rosado get beat up pretty bad by Triple G, and the beating that Jaime Munguia put on Gabe Rosado was right up there with the beating that Triple G put on him. He got beat up pretty bad. And what's happening with it, Coach? Salute. Wilson says Rosado level of competition is ridiculous. Rosado has fought some dogs. Yeah, man, Rosado definitely has fought some dogs. And like I said, I thought that Rosado was going to pull this victory out this weekend, but nah. Jaime Munguia clearly beat him up bad. And Gabe Rosado tripped me out because he was trying to say that he won the fight. And I'm looking at Gabe Rosado doing his post-fight interview, and I'm like, how can you say that you thought you won this fight? Bro, you beat up. We know that he's still hurting right now. To this day, right now, he's still hurting. And I'm like, man, how does Gabe Rosado say that he won this fight? Even though I picked Gabe Rosado to win. He was a big underdog. I think he was like a 4-1 underdog. But yeah, he should have been a 4-1 underdog by the way that he performed. And he fought Gabe Rosado and he fought Jaime Munguia wrong. I thought that Gabe Rosado was going to go out there, use movement, and try to box Jaime Munguia. He didn't. He stood in front of Jaime Munguia the whole night, and he just tried to throw power shots and wing it and knock him out. That's what he did. He tried to catch him. He tried to stand right in front of Jaime Munguia, and he tried to catch Jaime Munguia with something big the whole night. And he did. He caught Jaime Munguia with some big shots, timed him perfect. But Jaime Munguia, like I said, he got a hell of a chin. He wasn't going nowhere. Wasn't phasing him. And if it did phase him, we couldn't tell because his facial expression never changed. Gabe Rosado fought a very, very dumb fight. You know, he fought it because I've seen Gabe Rosado box better than he did. And he didn't even try to box Jaime Munguia. Like I said, he stood right in front of him. Didn't move, used no lateral movement. Didn't use his jab and try to, he didn't use none of that. He just tried to go toe-to-toe with him. And at times he tried to, set traps and time him. And I don't know if Gabe Rosado, because he got that big knockout against Back Tomorrow, whatever his name is. I don't know, because he got that big knockout against him, that he feels like, oh, well, now I got knockout power and I can knock all these guys out. Well, bruh, when you hit Jaime Munguia with some big shots and he was still there and he wasn't going nowhere, by like the 5th or 6th round, you should have changed up your game plan, but he didn't. He stuck to the same game plan and it wasn't working, and he tried the same things over and over and over. And it just shows like, bro, you should have a much better ring IQ than that. And so Gabe Rosado, man, he fought a very, very ignorant fight. And I'm not saying that he could have beat Jaime Munguia either way, but he could have made it a much closer fight than what he did. You don't stand right in front of a man like Jaime Munguia. I mean, he's shown that he has trouble with guys that can box and move a little bit. And yeah, man, you box him, you move, and then you go in and bang with him. But you didn't do none of that. You just stood there the whole night and just try to go tit for tat with him. My man, Rich Mendez, off in the building in that super chat. Man, I appreciate you coming through, showing love. He says, I like both Canelo and David Benavidez. He says, I don't see the body structure of David B taking Canelo's hits. Munguia is tough, throws a lot, but takes a lot of hits. Couple more fights before big time. Yeah, so this is my thing on Munguia, right? He did show a lot of improvement to me. Or like, to me, he did show a lot of improvement. I'm sorry, but it could be the simple fact is, like I said, is that Gabe Rosado, he fought a stupid ass fight against him. You know what I'm saying? He fought Jaime Munguia the exact way you're not supposed to fight him. If you have the skills to fight him, differently. In 100%, Gabe Rosado do have skills to have fought Jaime Munguia a much different way than he fought. My coach says Munguia looks better. He's not as robotic as he used to be. Yeah, like I said, I think that he improved, but also a lot of that is, people will say a lot of that is to the way that Gabe Rosado fought him. Now, one thing we can't say about Jaime Munguia, you can put his chin up there with the best in boxing, the Errol Spencers, the Canelo Alvarez, the Triple G's. Yeah, he got a chin like that. Like, that dude got a granite chin, definitely. That's going to be a problem, and that is going to cause a problem for anybody at 160, is because his chin is crazy. You feel me? His chin is crazy. Now, my problem is with Jaime Munguia, right? He's still young, but he has 38 fights already, right? That was his 38th fight. He has 38 fights, 0 losses, 0 draws, and 30 KOs. Now, he's at 160 pounds. You got Jermall Charlo, that's been the champ at 160 for years. I've heard him call out Jaime Munguia several times, right? Then you got Demetrius Andrade, that's been a champion at 160 pounds for years himself. And they actually both fight on DAZN. So that's an easy fight to be made. So if you have an excuse with Jermall Charlo saying, well, he's a PBC fighter and that's a difficult fight to make, that's why Jaime Munguia has never mentioned his name when he got called out by Jermall Charlo. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? It's still no excuse to not mention the man and at least say, yeah, that's a fight that I want. I'll talk to my promoter and see about making the fight. But you never even mentioned him, right? But with Demetrius Andrade, he's been calling you out and you never mentioned him, and he right there next to you, and y'all fight on the same promotion, right? Y'all under the, well, not the same promotion, but y'all both fight on DAZN. That's a very easy fight to be made. Golden Boy and Matchroom, they do business all the time. Like I said, they both fight on DAZN, so that's an easy fight to be made. Now, why are you skipping around these fighters that have titles in your weight division? That's my problem with Jaime Munguia. And it makes him look like a fraud, right? It makes him look like a fraud because truthfully, I think that he gives both of those guys a tough fight. You know, I think that he gives Jermall Charlo a tough fight. I think that he gives Demetrius Andrade a tough fight. I don't think that he could beat either one of these. I don't favor him to win either fight because he don't have no defense. You know, it's one thing fighting Gabe Rosado that has a record of what? 26-13. You know, Gabe Rosado is not on the level of a Demetrius Andrade or Jermall Charlo, right? But you're still good enough to go in there and give them a good fight. You know, with a chin like his, like I said, Jaime Munguia will give anybody problems because at the end of the day, it don't matter what you hit him with. He's still going to be right there and he's still going to come forward. So he's going to be a tough fight for anybody in the 160-pound weight division because I don't see nobody stopping him like that. You know, maybe the referee might have to stop it because he just going to continue to take punishment and keep coming forward. But other than that, I don't see nobody stopping him like that. But it's making you look like a total fraud because you don't mention Demetrius Andrade at all, and you never mentioned Jermall Charlo. And if you're a title holder, right? You have the what belt he got? I think it's the WBO, right? Intercontinental, the WBO. He has a WBO Intercontinental title. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what that shit is. But yeah, he's the WBO champion, right? At 160 at middleweight. He's the WBO champion. I thought that it's your goal to get all of the belts at 160, right? Instead, you call out Triple G. Now, Triple G already has a fight coming up, right? He got a fight coming up in December with Murata. Jermall Charlo don't have no fight coming up. He's the WBC champion. That should be the most prestigious championship belt in all of boxing. It's supposed to be. But you never mentioned that man. Now we know Demetrius Andrade has a fight coming up also, right? Against Jason Quigley. You should have at least been saying, I mean, you just fought. He got a fight coming up like next week. So y'all fight back to back. You should have been saying that you want the winner of that fight. But you instead said that you want to fight Triple G and he doesn't fight until December. Well, why does he want to fight Triple G instead of Jermall Charlo or Demetrius Andrade? That's what people, would ask. Ask yourself, why does he want to fight Triple G instead of these other guys? Well, that's simple. Triple G is a fighter just like we saw Gabe Rosado fight. Triple G is going to fight like that, except Triple G has a better jab and he has a hell of a chin and he punches harder. But Triple G is a tailor-made opponent for Jaime Munguia. Some people would say that Jaime Munguia is a younger version of Triple G. He just doesn't have, the jab that Triple G possessed. But other than that, they basically the same fighters. And so he looks at himself of being a younger version of Triple G, and the younger version, right, is always going to beat the old man, right? So He looking at Triple G as a tailor-made fight for himself. He knows that Triple G is going to stand right in front of him. He's not going to give no movement. He's not going to try to outbox him. He's going to stand right in front of him, and he's going to bang. And he feels that he's the younger, stronger fighter, and he feels that, he can beat Triple G. Easy. But it's making him look like a fraud because he's moving around these other opponents. That's the way I feel, and that's the problem that I have with Jaime Munguia, and that's the problem that I've always had with Jaime Munguia, because he doesn't seem like that he wants to face any and everybody. He seems like that he's picking and choosing the competition that he wants to step in the ring with. And that's just what it is. If we're calling out these other fighters, we need to do the same thing with Jaime Munguia, because the way that he moves, he is a fraud. Let me read some of y'all comments. Dundada, salute. Wilson, what's happening with it? And y'all make sure that y'all smash on that like button. Robert Davis says, he said, I don't see Canelo taking uppercuts like that David had. And we're going to get into that. Otto Perez says, Rosado has tendencies he can't shake. He says stays in front of his opponent, doesn't throw combos with the retreat or clinch. Yeah, man. The assassin DLJ says he was Andrade's mandatory since the beginning of last year, kept refusing to fight. That's how Liam Williams got to fight Andrade instead of he said instead, shaking my head, he's scary. Like I said, man, that's fraud actions. If we talk about things that Jermall Charlo do, why isn't nobody really going at Jaime Munguia like that? This is some fraud shit that Jaime Munguia is showing in the middleweight division. And I'm on his helmet. Let me see. Let me see what else y'all talking about. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Jaime Munguia is looking like a fraud out here. And out of all the champions, you pick Triple G. Why? Well, we know why. Because he's a tailor-made opponent for you. Like I said, when I look at Jaime Munguia, I look at a younger version. It looks like a younger version of Triple G. He don't got the same power that Triple G does, but in the same jab. But other than that, he's pretty much, a very similar fighter to Triple G. He's a lot faster than Triple G is now. Triple G old now, Triple G, like what, 39 years old now, coach? So Jaime Munguia, like I said, I'm going to give him his props. He looked good this weekend. Gabe Rosado looked the opposite of good. And like my man, Dwayne Freeman, salute, says, hit that like button. Smash on my like button. Smash on the like button. It don't cost you nothing. So, yeah, man, just crazy. It's crazy how Jaime Munguia is moving, but it looks like that the fans is allowing him to move around and duck these certain opponents. Dundada says, we know why Triple G's the money fight on DAZN, not Andrade. Well, of course, he's a bigger money fight than Andrade, but at the same token, I mean, Triple G, like, what is Triple G now? You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen Triple G in no fight that means shit except for Canelo Alvarez. And that's been some years now. Other than that, Triple G, ain't nobody checking for Triple G. Triple G name ain't ringing in the boxing streets like that no more. Don't nobody care to see Triple G in the ring because he don't want to fight nobody neither. So basically, it's two frauds. I know Triple G will fight Jaime Munguia in a heartbeat because Triple G, he does the same thing that Jaime Munguia is doing. He like to pick and choose opponents that are tailor-made for him. He wants to fight Murata because he knows Murata is a standing human punching bag. We see what these guys are doing. We see what these dudes is doing. They picking opponents that's tailor-made for them. Man, DAZN fucked up their money invested in Triple G. What money has Triple G brought DAZN? Nothing. Nothing. Triple G is nothing without a Canelo fight because he don't want to fight nobody else. Triple G is a fraud. He don't want to fight nobody else unless it's Canelo. Other than that, he just pick and choose. He picked dudes from, you know what I'm saying, cooks from the back of Wendy's you never heard of. Who ever heard of Zermeta before Triple G dug him up out of the grave and brought him and put him on TV? Who ever heard of fucking Dominique Wade and goddamn Steven Rose? And come on, bro, like Triple G is a fraud. Just like Jaime Munguia is showing that he is. But the only thing about Jaime Munguia, like I said, he's still young, so he's still got a lot of time to change. He's still got a lot of time to change the way he's moving. But the thing is, he's with Golden Boy. And one thing with Golden Boy fighters, besides Virgil Ortiz, because I got a lot of respect for Virgil Ortiz, because Virgil Ortiz, he's willing and ready to fight anybody. He's willing to fight anybody. Virgil Ortiz is vocal about it too. He lets you know he want all the smoke and he ain't afraid of nobody. So other than that, in like fighters like Jojo Diaz, the majority of Golden Boy fighters, they all move the same way. Look how Canelo was moving when he was with Golden Boy, right? And Canelo said most of that was due to Oscar De La Hoya not letting him fight other names like Jermall Charlo and, you know, these other opponents. He blamed that on Oscar De La Hoya. And now we see that a lot of what Canelo was saying, it must be true. Because Jaime Munguia, he moves the same way. But anyway, enough about him. Juan Ramos, salute to you, salute. Edgar Robles says GGG is going to sell more with the Mexican crowd. That's the problem with us Mexican fighter fans. He says we allow Mexicans to move funny. I don't even know why anybody still supports Triple G. Like, for real. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why anybody, if you go out, and I've done this before on the show, I broke down his whole resume. The man has fought literally nobody except for Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez. Really. The man stayed his whole career at middleweight. It ain't fought nobody except for Daniel Jacobs and Canelo Alvarez. That's the only names that he's fought. We're not going to say Kell Brook because Kell Brook had to move up two weight classes. Juan Ramos, salute. KG, what's happening with it? Salute to you. And y'all smash on the like button. Anthony Johnson, what's happening with it? Salute. And so, man, it's just a damn shame that Jaime Munguia, he got all these damn fights and he's still able to move like that. And people not really on his helmet. You know, we gonna get on Jermall Charlo and fighters like let's say Ryan Garcia and all these other dudes that's moving funny. We need to put Jaime Munguia right there with him. If we gonna get on Tank Davis, we need to put Jaime Munguia right there with him. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't no more excuses for this shit. It's no more excuses because me and everybody else, we stay on Tank Davis's helmet. We stay on Jermall Charlo helmet. What's up with Jaime Munguia? This man got 38, 39 fights and still don't want to fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. Jaime Munguia should have already fought a Demetrius Andrade, a Jermall Charlo, or somebody like that. At least one of them. This man ain't even fought what's his name? That trained with Roy Jones. What's my man that trained with Roy Jones? God dang, what's my man that trains with Roy Jones? I was about to say, man, what's his name? Damn. Man, his pops was a warrior. Man, it was Nigel Ben, and it was back coming up. It was Nigel Ben, and it was Eubank. Yeah, Chris Eubank. Thank you. He ain't even fought Chris Eubank Jr. Like, he could have at least fought a Chris Eubank Jr. or somebody. Come on, man. This shit's ridiculous. Yeah, man. So, yeah. So, and I'm going to stay on this helmet. Every time I hear anything about Jaime Munguia, I'm getting on his head just like I do the rest of these fighters. He ain't exempt. But anyway, Big Texas ATX Cletus Smith, what's happening with it? What's good? Pull counter boxing, salute. Hamilton Steel 1, salute. My man, the assassin DLJ, he says GGG is a fucking clown. He says, but people allow these fighters to pick and choose, become at dudes who actually want to smoke with everybody. Ridiculous. Yeah, that's boxing for you nowadays, right? That's boxing. Daryl, what's happening with it? My man Daryl in the building. What's good? Catman 785, what's happening with it? Salute. But we're going to stay on their head. Anytime somebody mention Jaime Munguia with anybody's name, if it's not a name like Jermall Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, or shit, I even throw Chris Eubank in there, right? If it ain't one of them three names, right, we on their head. We on his head. We ain't going to let him survive out here without getting no slack no more. But anyway, let's move on. So, what other fight did we have this weekend before I get into the main fight? Let's talk about David Benavidez Jr. Let's talk about David Benavidez Jr. And I want to remind all of the Terrence Bud Crawford fans something, right? Because y'all are the one that said this. And I'm a Bud Crawford fan, but let me say fanatics, the Terrence Bud Crawford fanatics, right? Because a lot of y'all were saying this. When we came up after Bud Crawford, stopped Kell Brook, and we said, look, that ain't the same Kell Brook that fought Errol Spence. Wasn't the same. We could, look at Kell Brook. We gave you the rundown why it wasn't the same Kell Brook that fought Errol Spence. Kell Brook had taken a long layoff. He had came back and he had fought a couple nobodies at 154, took another long layoff, and then tried to move all the way down to 147 pounds when he hadn't been at the weight division in 4 years. And I'm going to get to where I'm going, right? And so we said, well, we're going to give Terrence Crawford his props for stopping Kell Brook, but that wasn't the same Kell Brook that fought, Errol Spence. And y'all said, well, it was a better version of Kell Brook because when he fought Errol Spence, he had came off an eye injury. And then, the Errol Spence fans said, well, okay, when he fought Terrence Crawford, he was coming off of 2 eye injuries, if you want to say that. But they were saying, well, no, it was the same Kell Brook, or it was a better version of Kell Brook. Okay, remember y'all said that. So back to David Benavidez. So David Benavidez comes back off a 3-year layoff, right? His last fight was Terrence Crawford. That was his last fight. It was Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford stopped him in the last and final round. He gave Terrence Crawford the toughest fight as of yet. He gave Terrence Crawford his toughest fight as of yet. And gave Terrence Crawford a lot of problems until his knee blew out. You could clearly see that David Benavidez's knee blew out in that Terrence Crawford's fight, and he had no lateral movement. And once his knee blew out, Terrence Crawford went to work on him, right? And he was doing everything he could, but he just didn't really have no movement to, be able to get away from Terrence Crawford and give angles and everything that you need to be able to beat Terrence Crawford. Well, David Benavidez, like I said, he came back after a 3-year layoff in the ring for his first time, and he was fighting at like 158 pounds or something like that, a catchweight. He was fighting at a catchweight. He was fighting bigger than he's ever fought before. And if y'all don't know, David Benavidez actually had gained he had got up to like 230 something pounds. He fought Terrence Crawford at 147 pounds, and he got shit. He gained almost 100 pounds, right? So he had to lose upwards of 70 plus pounds, and it took him over a year to do it, right? So he stepped back in the ring. He said he felt good, said he's sparring good. He's been training for a long time. Did I say, did I say David Benavidez? My bad. I didn't even realize I was saying David. I mean Jose Benavidez. I mean Jose Benavidez. I didn't even know I was saying David until I seen the comments. I'm just so used to saying David because we haven't said Jose in a long time. But yeah, Jose Benavidez, right? So he had to lose upwards of 70 plus pounds, right? So he went in there and his body didn't look bad. He had a little six-pack on him. His body didn't look bad. He didn't look flabby like Tyson Fury did when he had to lose all of that weight. He looked like he was in shape, but his face was sunken in. Like I told y'all on Friday, he looked bad in the face. Other than that, his body didn't look too bad. But he fought, and I thought he lost that fight. I can't remember the guy's name that he was fighting. I never had heard of him before. One of y'all could drop it in the chat if y'all remember his name. But the guy was clearly outboxing Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez was loading up on all of his shots, trying to throw real heavy, hard shots. And he was doing some good body work, but you could tell he just didn't have the gas tank that he used to. You could tell that he wasn't the same fighter that he was when he left. Torres is his name. Appreciate that, KG. Yeah, Torres. And Torres was outboxing him. Jose Benavidez, he looked slow to me. He looked very slow. He looked like his feet was stuck in the mud. And he just, I don't know, man. You could just tell his timing was off at times. And you could tell that he wasn't the same fighter. But if we're going to do like the Terrence Crawford fans did when they went out and beat Kell Brook, we're going to say that Jose Benavidez was the same fighter, right? Jose Benavidez was the same exact fighter that he was when he fought Terrence Crawford, right? This guy Torres, this man, Jose Benavidez, that Torres clearly went out there and outboxed. They gave him a draw, right? But Jose Torres should have won that fight. What does that say about Terrence Crawford? Because if we're going to do like the Terrence Crawford fanatics did with Errol Spence, right? Well, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say that Jose Benavidez was the same fighter that fought Terrence Crawford. Matter of fact, he was a better version because he didn't have no knee brace on this time. When he fought Terrence Crawford, he had a knee brace on, right? He was a better version. He got a chance to rest his knee. His knee wasn't bothering him this time like it was when he fought Terrence Crawford, and he was actually a better version. You see how that worked? You see how things come around full circle? You see how that worked. Now, we can actually run with that narrative and say that Jose Benavidez was actually a better version than the one that got in the ring with Terrence Crawford, if that's how y'all want to do. So, I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all continue to stick to that narrative that Kell Brook was a better version when he fought Terrence Crawford than the version that he fought than he was when he fought Errol Spence, well, we're going to say the same thing about Jose Benavidez. How about that? Because it's a lot of validity to that, right? We saw Jose Benavidez with a knee brace when he faced Terrence Crawford. He had a lot of time to heal his knee. He didn't have no knee brace on against Torres this weekend, did he? So how y'all want to play it? So the next time y'all come up with that bullshit talking about that, you got to give Terrence Crawford all the credit in the world because he beat a better version of Kell Brook than Errol Spence did. Well, then I'm going right to Jose Benavidez, and I'm going to say that Torres beat a better version, right, of Jose Benavidez than Terrence Crawford did. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. and outboxed him better than Terrence Crawford did. So we gonna do that. But anyway, all seriousness, Jose Benavidez, man. The thing is you can't think that you can, do whatever you're doing in the streets and take these long layouts. We got to understand this man has taken 6 years, right? 6 years away from his career since he started boxing. Over 6 years away from his career since he started boxing. And he think that he can come back and rise to the top, right? You can't do that. You can't play with boxing like that. And I just don't see Jose Benavidez ever taking it serious to be able to rise back up to the top, And really, truthfully, I don't know how he was ever fighting at 147. We talking about guys being weight bullies like Errol Spence and Jerron Ennis. Look how big Jose Benavidez is. It don't matter what Errol Spence and Jerron Ennis do. They could never walk around at 230 plus pounds. Real talk. Jose Benavidez is a big dude. So I don't know what he was doing to make 147 pounds. But I don't think that we're going to ever see him at 147 again. I tell you that. And he got a long, long way to go before he's going to be able to compete with the top guys at 154. Juan Ramos said he looked like some shit. Yeah, man, he just was in there. He had one game plan. He had one game plan to come forward, throw as hard as he can, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? He used no type of lateral movement, didn't try to box, didn't do nothing. He just came forward trying to throw hard-ass shots the whole night, and then had a nerve to get mad talking about that Torres wouldn't stand there. Talking about Torres wouldn't stand there and bang with him. Like, bro, you can't tell another man how to fight. You know what I'm saying? What you mean he wouldn't stand there? So you think that he's supposed to stand right in front of you so you can hit him at will? And he had a nerve to get pissed off and say, oh, he wouldn't stand there. He kept moving around the ring and he was running. He wouldn't stand there. Hey, bro, did y'all sign in the contract that he was supposed to stand in the middle of the ring and let you hit him? What's wrong with these dudes? Talking about he wouldn't stand there. Bro, my job is not to stand here in the middle of the ring and fucking go tit for tat with you and trade to see who can hit the hardest. And dude was real pissed off about that shit, talking about he wouldn't stand there. Unless y'all had that in the contract that he was just supposed to stand in one spot and y'all was supposed to, go at it like some crash dummies. Newsflash, that ain't his job. You don't tell another man how he's supposed to fight you. Like, that shit crazy. KP from KC5, what's happening with it? Knockout Boxing 86 TV, salute to you. Juan Ramos, what's happening with it? He says, said he was running all night. Yeah, dude, crazy, man. Lewis Hidden, what's happening with it, Lewis? He says, I think David and Canelo will be a fun fight to watch. Oh, most definitely, most definitely. And y'all smash on the like button as you come in the building. Smash on the like button as you come in the building. So, yeah, David Benavidez, he got a long way to go before he even think about stepping in the ring with any of them top guys. And he talking about a rematch with what's his name, the dude Torres, and I don't really want to see that shit. I don't want to see no rematch, but it is what it is. Now, let's get to the main event. And y'all smash on the like button. Y'all smash on my like button. Let's cook on the main event now, because that's what everybody was waiting to see. The main event with Kyron Davis and David Benavidez, right? David Benavidez and Kyron Davis. Now, nobody was really looking forward to Kyron Davis winning this fight. I know that Kyron Davis is a hell of a fighter. I know that Kyron Davis, one thing he will do, he's not gonna come there to lay down. He's gonna try to fight you. We seen that when he fought my man Anthony Durrell. We seen that when he fought Anthony Durrell. He gave Anthony Durrell a hell of a fight, and in my opinion, he beat Anthony Durrell clearly. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was robbed in that Anthony Durrell fight. I think they gave him a draw, but he beat Anthony Durrell clearly. So, and that was my first time actually ever watching Kyron Davis. And then I saw Kyron Davis in his next fight after Anthony Durrell, and he won that fight. Now, Kyron Davis, like I said, he showed me back then that he could fight, and he wasn't going to lay down. But I think a lot of people were surprised at the dog that Kyron Davis has in him. I think a lot of people were surprised. Kyron Davis, he came out, and of course, David Benavidez, he came out and he went straight at Kyron Davis. You know, David Benavidez, he's rangy. He has a good jab. He has, and the thing about David Benavidez, he throws his punches from all different angles, and he can hit you from any angle, and he just don't stop. But he continued to come forward all night. You know, David Benavidez, he do what he do. You know, he started pressing Kyron Davis pretty much. I think the first round, he pretty much, you know, tried to fill out Kyron Davis, and then we seen David Benavidez go into full David Benavidez mode. You know, he was walking down Kyron Davis, and Kyron Davis was holding his own. He was holding his own, and he was counter punching David Benavidez. He was punching with David Benavidez. When David Benavidez was trying to push Kyron Davis back, Kyron Davis showed that he was strong. He would wrap David Benavidez up, and he was holding his own. David Benavidez couldn't push back Kyron Davis, you know, during the first like 3 to 4 rounds. He couldn't push him back like that at will. Kyron Davis was holding his own, but David Benavidez is like a real life RoboCop. You can shoot him, you can stab him, you can punch him, you can kick him. It don't matter what you do to him. He's going to continue to come forward, and he's going to continue to throw punches while he's going forward. And ultimately, he just broke Kyron Davis down. But Kyron Davis got hit with everything and the kitchen sink from David Benavidez, and Kyron Davis kept fighting. And we could tell those body shots that David Benavidez was hitting Kyron Davis with, you could tell it was hurting him. Like he was grabbing his body at certain points during that fight, and he was, you know, dropping his hands, and he was trying to cover his body up, because when you get hit in the body hard over and over, I don't care who you are, you're gonna feel it, and it's gonna hurt you. And David Benavidez, one thing I like about David Benavidez, he committed to going to the body, and he continued to do it. And then when Kyron Davis would drop his hands, he would come up to the head with 4, 5, 6, and 7 shots. But Kyron Davis is tough as nails. He tough as nails. And salute Knockout Boxing 86 TV. And y'all sub to my man Knockout Boxing 86 TV. And y'all hit that like button if you ain't hit the like button yet. But yeah, Kyron Davis, man, he took every shot that you could take. He took every shot that you could take. And when he went back to the corner, his corner was telling him, like, look, man, you hurt. Like, you hurt. We're going to have to stop this fight. And Kyron Davis was like, nah, man, do not stop the fight. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm good. Don't stop the fight. And so his corner was telling him, Breadman was telling him, look, man, you got to show me something. I'm gonna have to stop the fight, man. I don't want you to keep taking punishment. And Kyron Davis was adamant, like, don't stop the fight. I'm good. Kyron Davis went out there and he went straight forward, and he came at David Benavidez. But David Benavidez, ultimately, his gas tank was too much. He don't have that one punch, I'm gonna just knock you out power. It's an accumulation of punishment. It's because he will punch you and he'll take punches, right? He takes a lot of punishment too, but he continues to come forward, and it doesn't matter what you hit him with. It don't matter how many punches you throw at him. He's going to continue to come forward and he's going to throw punches. I don't know how somebody can throw that many punches and he throws all of his shots hard. He ain't throwing no, pity patch shots. He throwing hard punches and he throwing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them at a time. And ultimately, these fighters that David Benavidez get in the ring with, like Kyron Davis, he's a good fighter. You just cannot keep up with the volume of punches that David Benavidez throws. And he don't get tired. Most of the time when you see a volume puncher, let's say like Leo Santa Cruz, they're going to stop. They're going to take a breath. He don't never stop. It's like this dude got an oxygen tank built in his motherfucking stomach or something. He don't never get tired. And so it's hard to compete with a fighter that can also not only take punishment, they dish it and they continue to go and move forward and go and throw. And he just broke down Kyron Davis. And, Kyron Davis's corner just basically threw in the towel because they said they saw that Kyron Davis wasn't going to stop. They said they saw that he didn't have no quit in him, and they saved him from himself. He was mad, he was pissed off, but Breadman saved Kyron Davis from himself because he could have died out there, and he looked like he was willing to die in the ring because he wasn't gonna give up. But the body attack that he was taking, along with the head attack, it was crazy. Like he was taking a lot of punishment, and it got to the point to where he couldn't even block none of that shit. It was like he don't even know where the punches is coming from. Like I said, David Benavidez hits you from all different angles. He hit you left, right, left. He dip into the right, hitting you. He dip into the left. He's stepping back, hitting you, stepping around you, hitting you, throwing hooks, jabs, uppercuts. He throwing body shots like you don't know. It's just like a swarm of bees coming at you, and you don't know where they coming from. You don't know how to stop this shit. And especially if you're not a natural 168-pound fighter, we got to understand that Kyron Davis is a natural 160, 154-pound fighter. He's not even a natural, and he took this fight on short notice. Now, do I think that he would have been able to give a better, outing if he had a full training camp to where, maybe he was able to keep up with David Benavidez a little better without getting tired? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, you can't keep up with that, especially if you're not a natural 168-pound fighter, and if you're not a fighter that's like on the level of a Canelo Alvarez or something like that. And, so that's what it was, man. But salute once again to Kyron Davis, man. He showed that he got a lot of nuts. He got a lot of heart. And he's going to be a problem to anybody at 168, at 160. I would love to see Kyron Davis in the ring with, let's say, a Jaime Munguia or Jermall Charlo. Get a rematch against Anthony Durrell. And y'all seen, right? Like I said, to me, he clearly beat Anthony Durrell. And y'all seen Anthony Durrell didn't have no intentions on taking a rematch, right? That fight ended in a draw, and Anthony Durrell shot that down real quick. Anthony Durrell didn't want no parts of a rematch with Kyron Davis. I would like to see him in there with a Chris Eubank. That man will give anybody a problem. Since Triple G like to try to pick and choose no-name opponents, I bet you he ain't going to try to pick Kyron Davis to get in there in the ring with. Like, the dude can fight. He can fight. But David Benavidez, he just overwhelms you. He's just too much. And salute to the Queen Cassandra Mason in the building. Minnie Mill, what's happening with it? Canelo's a Mexican. He says, who looks Irish that fights black. Yeah, you got a point, man. You got a good point right there. But it's just crazy. And it's David Benavidez is very exciting to watch. He's very exciting to watch because you know that you're going to get somebody that's going to go out there, like I said, like a real live RoboCop, and the motherfucker coming forward, and he ain't going to stop. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to stop. Now, what I did see from David Benavidez, to me, is the same David Benavidez. Maybe he did focus on, putting his hands up and blocking shots more than he usually do. Because I've seen him usually just come forward. He don't even try to put his hands up and block shots or parry punches. He's just coming forward. This time we did see him try to, work on his defense, work on blocking certain shots more. But Kyron Davis was still hitting him with big shots. But Kyron Davis is not known to be a big puncher like that. He don't have a lot of knockouts. You dig? And salute to my man Omega Red in the building. And my man DP Rocker in the building. What's happening with it? But yeah, Kyron Davis, he don't got a lot of knockouts. I think he only got about 6 knockouts, right? And that's not a lot of knockouts, but he tough. He told everybody that, right? So the word on the streets now is Canelo Alvarez, is David Benavidez ready to face Canelo Alvarez? Is he ready? Did he show enough in that fight to show that he's ready for somebody like Canelo Alvarez, a top pound for pound fighter in the world, according to a lot of people, right? Is he ready? And my thing is, no, he ain't. He not ready. I don't know why people keep wanting to just find anybody that can beat Canelo Alvarez, but you might want to continue to look. David Benavidez ain't the one that's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Like I told you before, didn't really see too much different than David Benavidez. Yeah, he looked to try to work on his defense a little more, but he still got hit with big shots. Although Kyron Davis can't hit that, he's not known as a hard hitter. He still got hit with big shots. And imagine if you replaced Canelo Alvarez with Kyron Davis this past Saturday night, what do you think the outcome would have been? Go back. Look at some of the shots that Kyron Davis was hitting David Benavidez with. Look at a lot of how easy Kyron Davis was able to counter David Benavidez. Now, you put somebody like Canelo Alvarez in the ring with David Benavidez, right? Somebody that's hitting harder than David Benavidez. He hitting much harder than anybody that David Benavidez ever been in the ring with. Got much better defense than anybody that David Benavidez ever been in the ring with. So now David Benavidez is throwing 7, 8, 9 punches right in the beginning of the fight. And I'm telling y'all how this shit going. He coming out. He gonna try to fill out Canelo Alvarez, and then he gonna go to what he knows, right? Volume punching, throwing punches from all different angles. But the only difference is you got Canelo in the ring. He got some of the best defense in boxing, right? Now he parrying those punches, right? He's using his shoulder roll. He's rolling with the punches, blocking a lot of the punches, blocking the body shots coming up. But he not only blocking, now he's coming back because he's a counter puncher. Now he's coming back and he counter punching you with 3, 4 shots at a time. And he catching and he's landing everything that he throws at David Benavidez, because remember, David Benavidez defense is the last thing that he's looking to utilize. He's basically all offense. Now he's getting hit with them same shots and more shots from Canelo Alvarez that he was getting hit by with Kyron Davis. At that point in time, you see David Benavidez. He's not going to come with 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8 punches no more. You know why? Because a fighter like Canelo Alvarez will make you change the way you fight. He'll have no choice but to change the way he fights. At that point in time, he's going to have to change the way he fights. He can't continue to come forward throwing 7, and 8, and 9, and 10 punches from all different angles. Because once Canelo start blocking that shit and counter punching and rolling with it and bop, bop, and hit you with clean punches, right? Shots that you're able to take against fighters like Kyron Davis and who was he with Kyron Davis and Ellis and these other guys that you've been in the ring with, because they not heavy hitters like Canelo. Now you ain't gonna be able to take those shots and continue to take those type of shots like that. So you're gonna have to switch up your game plan. And we've never seen David Benavidez fight any different from a fighter that comes forward and throw a whole lot of shots. And if you don't switch up your game plan, it's going to be an early night, and Canelo Alvarez is going to catch you with some shit, and he's going to drop you. And let's not forget, Canelo Alvarez, he works the body very, very well, and he's going to try to break you down also. So how is David? See, a lot of people think, oh, well, David Benavidez, he's just going to swarm Canelo Alvarez. He's going to overwhelm Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez don't throw a whole lot of shots. Well, Canelo Alvarez is a counterpuncher. So every time you throw something at him, he's throwing right back at you. And he don't have to throw a whole lot of shots because he makes you fight his fight. With everybody that we've seen Canelo Alvarez in for years now, he's making them fight his fight. You can't just go up in there and think you're going to throw 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 punches at a time and continue to throw and throw and throw. His ring IQ is much better than that. His skills are much better than that. His defensive skills are much better than that. His counterpunching ability, his body attack is much better than that. He's going to make Benavidez fight his fight. And if he don't, it's going to be an early night. You know what I'm saying? You can get mad if you want to, but it's the truth. Knockout Boxer 86 says, hell no, he didn't show enough, and that started before the fight. He came in at 169. He needs to show he can make 168 consistently before getting a Canelo fight. And the contractual weight, I think they was able to come in at 169, but you still should be coming in at 168 just to show everybody, you know, that you don't have no problem making them weight. Why was it 169 pounds? Because Kyron Davis came in at 167. Edgar Robles says Benavidez will get stopped by Canelo. Knockout Boxer 86 says, what if he get the fight and don't make weight? It will be a huge letdown. That's something that a lot of people looking at too. Robert Magnum says Benavidez doesn't have a solid body either. Yeah, and we've never really seen anybody go to Benavidez's body like Canelo do. Kendrick Rowell says Canelo he said he's gonna chop him down like Paul Bunyan. Man, I'm telling y'all, like people just they just so focused on finding anybody to beat Canelo. It ain't him. Knockout Boxer 86 says Canelo Alvarez versus Anthony Dirrell is the fight we will get for Cinco de Mayo. Man, they bet not. Man, I don't think that, man. They ain't putting no Canelo Alvarez versus Anthony Dirrell. I think you be on point with a lot of stuff that you say, Knockout, but it ain't no way that Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Dirrell is fighting on Cinco de Mayo. First of all, and I'm gonna tell you why not. Anthony Dirrell don't have a big enough name for PBC to put on pay-per-view, right? And sell what they looking to sell with Canelo Alvarez, right? And Canelo Alvarez ain't coming in no PBC pay-per-view to fight Anthony Dirrell. Like I say, he don't have a big enough name and he don't have no belt. What would be the point for Canelo Alvarez to go back over to PBC to fight Anthony Dirrell? A guy that's old, way out of his prime, and Anthony Dirrell talking about if he can't get a big fight like Canelo Alvarez, he gonna retire. Come on, bro. That ain't happening, bro. That ain't happening. Now, Jermall Charlo is a champion. He's a champion at 160. He has a much bigger name than Anthony Dirrell. So that would make sense for Jermall Charlo to come up. And also David Benavidez would make sense because you got Cinco de Mayo, Mexican against a Mexican. They the Mexican fans are gonna show up, show out, they're gonna pay for that. But Anthony Dirrell, man, nah, that ain't it. I highly doubt that happens. Highly doubt. That ain't happening. Sarah Antbo, salute. Leon Robinson, salute. Knockout say they had him as the co-main event for a reason, bro. Canelo needed soft touch, and Canelo fan base want to throw a party on Cinco de Mayo. Man, that ain't happening, bro. I'm just trying to tell you, man. That's not gonna happen. Now, what you might see happen is they might do a rematch with David Benavidez and Anthony Dirrell, in the meantime, but I don't even see that happening, bro. I don't see that. Cassandra says she's still searching for someone to beat Saul. She says, I'm sticking with Charlo and Benavidez. Yeah, you way off with Charlo, and you just off with Benavidez. Like I said, Benavidez has a few more years. He got a few more years. He got a few more years, and he needs to work on his defense, and he needs to step up his ring IQ, and he needs to show that he can come with a different game plan. Like, you need to put Benavidez in there with somebody that's going to give him, a different style fighter. You need to put him in there with somebody like a Caleb Plant, and see how he fares against somebody like that. But if they want to throw him in there, hey, put him in there. I'm not trying to protect none of these fighters from nobody. Put him in there. If y'all think that he ready for Canelo, put him in there. And the people that hate Canelo and the people that just want to see Canelo lose so bad, all you're going to do is you're going to end up mad, and then it's going to be another excuse. You're going to say, well, Benavidez was too young. He was too young. It's going to be some excuse. But if y'all want to see him in there that bad, put him in there. Love him down said everything, boss, and Canelo. He says MO is to fight 3 chumps. We get thirsty. He fight 1 good fighter. That's how he robs the bank. I can't really say that, man. I can't really say that because at the end of the day, right? See, y'all, a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the shit that y'all say about Canelo is warranted. You can say that. But at the end of the day, you can't be a boxing fan and cry to say that y'all want to see undisputed in the heavyweight division, right? And then when a man like Canelo, he go and fight everybody because they got a belt and say, oh, well, he fought 3 chumps and this and that. Nah, man, you can't do that. He had a reason for fighting Billy Joe Saunders, even though, do I think that Billy Joe Saunders is a hell of a fighter? No, I don't. He all right. He had a reason for fighting Callum Smith. You know what I'm saying? And then Caleb Plant definitely ain't no chump, but they all had belts. The only bullshit fight that he really gave y'all out of the last 3 fights that he had was Yildirim. Now, that was some bullshit. But they let him fight Yildirim for a title. You blame that on WBC. Because you heard of the if y'all ever heard of the term, you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying, you gonna go as far as they let you go, right? And that's all he did. He did what they let him do. If the WBC Suleiman had to stop that Yildirim shit, you know what I'm saying, he would have never been able to face Yildirim for a WBC title. But they ain't stopped that shit. They didn't stop that. They let him do that. You know what I'm saying? They let him do that. So we need to blame the WBC for that. Because I'm going to tell y'all like this. And y'all need to get off the bullshit and just keep it real. Because y'all like to pick and choose who y'all say what about. I guarantee you, if any of these other fighters, right? If any of these other fighters, see, the thing is the WBC, they treat Canelo Alvarez and they treat him with a lot of favoritism. That's who we need to be blaming, because Canelo is he's only doing what they let him do, right? And I'm gonna make an example. So you think that if Charlo or one of these other champions, right, basically got given the title, they like, okay, you can go ahead and fight this nobody. You go ahead and fight Yildirim. I guarantee you right now, if they told Jermall Charlo or any of these other champions, right, hey, if we'll let you fight Yildirim for a WBC title if you want to. You don't think they're gonna go do it? Keep it 100 with yourself. Keep it 100. You don't think that they're gonna go do that shit in a heartbeat? Yeah, they gonna go do it. Yeah, they gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? Look at Terrence Crawford. They let Terrence Crawford fight motherfucking Ndongo to become undisputed. You think he was gonna turn that down and say, you know what? I know this man got 2 belts, but you know what? I need tougher competition. I ain't gonna fight him. Come on. You don't think if Errol Spence got 2 belts right now, right? If somehow, goddamn, Ivan Redcatch had the other 2 belts, you don't think that Errol Spence gonna go fight Ivan Redcatch and take that shit very easily? That's all Canelo did. They let him get away with that shit, so he did it. Anybody else would have did that shit. Do I like the fight? No, it was some bullshit. He asked for it, and he did ask to do it, right? And he just seeing how far he can go. You see what I'm saying? You heard of the term, okay, well, he gonna see how far he can go. That's all he did. He was seeing how far he could go. They said, yeah, and he, you know what I'm saying? And he did it. The thing that we should be mad at the WBC for not treating everybody the same. Right? We should be mad for the WBC for not treating everybody the same. They let Canelo Alvarez do shit that they would let the next fighter do. If you're going to let somebody walk all over you, that's what they're going to do. So we can't try to put all that blame on Canelo Alvarez. But, and like I continue to tell people, let's stop saying, oh, he going to do this and he ain't going to fight this. And let's wait to see what he does. Stop assassinating the man before he get a chance to show you who he going to fight next. Y'all like, he just going to fight, 3 and 4, and the next opponents are going to be some bullshit. We don't know that. Cut that shit out. We don't know. We don't know who his next opponent is going to be. He named Charlo. He named Benavidez. He named them guys at 175. He ain't said nothing about what's his name? No, Anthony Durrell or no, Rudy Poudat. And I ain't gonna call Anthony Durrell no Rudy Poudat at all, because he was a hell of a fighter in his prime. We ain't heard him say nothing about none of those opponents. Let's wait and see what he says instead of crucifying the man before he even opened up his mouth. He just beat a hell of an opponent. He just beat Caleb Plant, and y'all still don't want to give him no credit. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not no huge, just diehard Canelo fan like that. I'm a fan of boxing. And I'm a fan of Canelo for what he do in the ring. But, he's done some bullshit, before in the past. But we can't keep holding on and lingering on. Oh, man, at 154, he didn't fight Jermall Charlo at 154. We got to move on from that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all sounding like bitter females. You know what I'm saying? You got to move on from that shit. You got to give him his credit and move on. I'm not going to continue to, do that, because all you're going to do is be mad. You're going to continue to be mad and mad and mad. You got to give him his credit and move on. The man got a hell of a resume. You know what I'm saying? Look at the rest of these fighters. You ain't name me one fighter besides Errol Spence that's fighting killer after killer after killer after killer after killer. Name me one. I'm gonna wait. I won't, because everybody got something to say, but name me another opponent that's fighting A-class opponent after A-class opponent. Name me one besides Errol Spence. Name me one. I want somebody in the chat to name me one. Josh Taylor is one. So we got Errol Spence, we got Josh Taylor. We got Wilder, but Wilder fought. Wilder has been in the trilogy. You dig what I'm saying? Wilder been in the trilogy. You can't put Tyson Fury in there because Tyson Fury fought one man. That's Wilder. So nah. But Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, and then you know what I'm saying, he had a fight in between, right? Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. And we gonna keep it 100. He fought Luis Ortiz, and then he had a fight in between with what's his name? Whatever dude name is, right? So Wilder, he even had a fight in between, but that wasn't his fault, because if it was up to him, he would have went straight into the Tyson Fury fight. But other than you got Canelo Alvarez, Josh Taylor, Jermall Charlo's one, right? Sean Porter won, Wilder, and Errol Spence. Now, how many fighters do you have in boxing? How many fighters do you have in boxing? You got hundreds and hundreds of fighters in boxing. Come on now. Let's keep it 100. Lomo ain't fought dog after dog after dog after dog. Lomo done had opponents that y'all was crying about also. Y'all was crying, well, Lomo, he fighting Corolla. Who is Toyota Corolla? Do y'all forget? You know what I'm saying? Lomo ain't fight. I said, name me the fighters with no break in between, because this is what we talking about. We talking about a fighter that has no break in between. They just fight A-class after A-class after A-class. It's very, very, very few fighters that's doing that with no breaking in between. So all I'm saying is keep the same energy for everybody. Don't pick and choose who y'all want to whine and cry about. You know what I'm saying? Keep the same energy for everybody. We like to pick and choose who we want to whine and cry about, but tend to forget that it's very, very few fighters in boxing that's fighting killer after killer after killer with no breaks in between. You ain't taking no stay busy fights, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? This man fought 4 times in a year. And y'all still crying about that he fought Abner Yildirim and he fought 4 times in a year. Who else on that level, at the top level, is fighting? The rest of these dudes are fighting once a year. But you still crying about that he went and fought. And the reason it's really starting to irritate me, and like I said, everybody know I'm not the biggest Canelo fan, but it's irritating me, and I'm sick of hearing y'all niggas crying whine, because the rest of y'all favorite fighters, they only fighting once a year. And you crying about the same thing over and over and over, right? You crying about the same shit over and over. But your favorite fighter only fighting once a year. This man fought 4 times in a year. And y'all crying. Well, he fought Abner Yildirim. Okay. Either fight Abner Yildirim or stay and sit on the bench until May. Fight Yildirim, get another, you know what I'm saying, seven-figure payday, probably more than that. Get another 7+ figure payday. Go out here, beat this bomb up real quick, or don't get no payday, miss out on 10 plus mil, and sit on the shelf until May. Come on now. Hey, make it make sense. Make this shit make sense. But see, y'all don't want to hear that because y'all don't want me to get to talking real. See, one thing I do is see a lot of y'all niggas, y'all just run with the narrative and just say what everybody else want to say, right? You say what everybody wants you to say. I ain't gonna do all of that. I agree with a lot of the stuff that y'all say about Canelo. You know what I'm saying? But come on, we're not gonna go overboard and try to act like that. If any other fighter had the chance to do some of the things that he's doing, they're gonna do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real with yourself. You ain't got to keep it 100 with me. And you just answered what I just said, J.A. Dixon. You just answered what I just said. J.A. Dixon says Canelo did get 3 fights in this year, and he actually fought 4 times in a year span, right? He said he did get 3 fights in this year, but he also has the pull to get any fights he wants anywhere. Okay, like I said, stop acting like if your favorite fighter had the chance to do it, they wouldn't have did it. That's all I'm saying. If somebody tell you, okay, you got a chance to take a easy, right? You got a chance to get an easy $10+ million, or you can just wait, you know what I'm saying, and sit on the shelf for 6 months, and then you can get paid, but you'll miss out on that 10+ mil. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Stop being ignorant and looking over all the facts just because you want to go with a certain narrative. Stop crying about, oh man, he did it. Like this shit, it irritates me because a lot of y'all are starting to sound just like the fans did with Floyd Mayweather. That's how y'all starting to sound. Remember when people was crying about everything that Floyd Mayweather did, and then every time he would beat somebody, they'll move the goalposts. They didn't want to give him credit for it. Y'all doing the same shit. Y'all ain't doing nothing different from what them Floyd Mayweather haters was doing his whole career. And I'm saying it's easy to fall into that trap, but check yourself. Let's see what he gonna. And I see a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all don't want to hear what I'm saying. A lot of y'all falling off. And stay off. Don't come back. If you're gonna fall off when I get to speaking the truth, don't come back over here because I don't want you over here with that fake ass bullshit. You feel me? I don't want you over here with that fake shit. If when I get to speaking the truth, you're gonna fall off, stay off. Unsubscribe. Because if you want to hear some fake shit, a narrative that, oh, I'm just going to say the same thing that every other channel is saying because that's what, you know what I'm saying, that's what people like to hear. You ain't going to get that over here. You're going to get the real. And like I said, once again, I ain't no big Canelo Alvarez fan. Y'all know I was riding with Caleb Plant 150%. But real is real. World Combat Sports, what's happening with it? And J.A. Dixon, if you feel some type of way, you can feel that way. I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't even reading the comments. I'm just saying in general. I wasn't even talking about you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have you on my mind at all. I'm just saying in general. When I'm speaking in general. Because it ain't you or it. I'm saying overall. But anyway, Cassandra Mason says, I got to get that man Fighter of the Year award, hate him or love him. Yeah, like I don't put my feelings into certain things. That's why if I don't necessarily like a fighter, I don't put my feelings into it. You got to be able to talk about boxing for it break down what's really going on instead of leading people in a certain direction just because you don't like somebody. I could easily come on here and talk a whole bunch of shit and y'all gonna run with it and be like, yeah, that's facts. When, if we break it down, we know this shit a lot. But Knockout Boxer 86 says Rigo, Linares, Pedraza, Corolla, Campbell, Lopez, Nakatani, and now Comey is a great list. Agree with Haney Parr, but Loma been putting in work. Yeah, but Loma got, like I said, you got Corolla, you got some lapses in between. Like, so basically what I was saying is ain't really no fighter except for a very, very few, except for Errol Spence. He one of them. He really one of the only fighters that you could say is fought all like A-level opponents without no pauses in between. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, J.A. Dixon says shit. He's supposed to get money and fight. The rest of them, the MFs, need to get their shit together and get in the ring. Yeah, but and like I said, man, we gotta stop, saying what he didn't do 6 and 5 years ago and this and that. We gotta ride and be patient and see what he does from here on out. I mean, damn, we've been patient with fighters like Jermall Charlo in Tank Davis, damn near 5 years. We've been patient with Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo been at 160 pounds since 2017 and still really ain't fought nobody but Dervinchenko. But ain't nobody crying about what he ain't done and who this and that. Come on now. We got to keep the same energy for everybody. But like I said, I'm gonna just look forward to see what he gonna do from here on out. I don't think David Benavidez is it. And if y'all go check out my video, I put a video again out. Go make sure that y'all go check out that video with Zorro Ramirez, the real boogeyman when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. Zorro Ramirez is the real boogeyman when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. And go check out my video, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know and why I'm saying what I'm saying. But these other guys, hey, we just got to wait and see if he ever fights him. And he's mentioning them. He's saying that he's willing to fight him. So let's just see. And World Combat Sports off in the building. My man Scotty in the building. What's happening with it? Y'all make sure that y'all go sub to Scotty. Make sure that y'all go sub to World Combat Sports. But so yeah. So it is what it is, and I'm not capping for nobody or none of that. I'm just telling it like it is. Yeah, one, you know what I'm saying? That's why I put that video down, because some people tend to forget. And if you go look at the timeline, it all adds up. It had nothing to do with David Benavidez. David Benavidez was not a factor in why Canelo Alvarez was saying that he didn't want to fight no more Mexicans. It had nothing to do with David Benavidez. When Canelo Alvarez said that, David Benavidez was only 20 years old at the time, maybe even 19. And it was Zorro Ramirez that was a king at 168 pounds. But go check out the video, and I broke all of that down for y'all. Now let's talk about Jermall Charlo, because Jermall Charlo is making boxing headlines continuously, but it ain't nothing that's good. It ain't nothing that's making Jermall Charlo look good. And y'all smash on the like button. So David Benavidez, who we just got done talking about, after his performance, he called out Canelo Alvarez. He said Canelo Alvarez, need to go ahead and fight him now. Or he said he'll fight anybody that they put in front of him to earn a shot against Canelo Alvarez. If they want to put him in an eliminator, David Benavidez said put him in an eliminator and he'll go through all of them guys. And he called out Jermall Charlo. He said, you could put me in the ring with Jermall Charlo, whoever. I'll go through all of them. Now, he says, but I know that Jermall Charlo won't fight me because Jermall Charlo a scared bitch. That's what he called him. He said Jermall Charlo is a scared bitch and he won't fight him. Now, it's crazy. Jermall Charlo is a scared bitch and he won't fight him. That's what he said in front of the whole world. So he continues to call out Jermall Charlo. He letting everybody know that Jermall Charlo is afraid of him, and he called Jermall Charlo a bitch. Now, he disrespected him in front of the whole world. So everybody is like, okay, well, what is Jermall Charlo gonna say? What is Jermall Charlo gonna do? And I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up for y'all. Everybody wanted to know what Jermall Charlo gonna do, what he gonna say, and this is what Jermall Charlo had to say. Give me 1 second. This is what Jermall Charlo had to say about what David Benavidez said to him, and then when the fans said, "Hey, David Benavidez, he calling you out again. You heard what he said." This is Jermall Charlo's response. Let me turn this up so y'all can hear it. Hold on.
Benavidez, look. I don't listen to I don't read none of that shit. You don't listen to that shit? Hell no. Fuck him. I'm already rich. What the fuck I'm looking at the comments for?
Hold on, let's run that back. Let's run that back.
I do. Benavidez, look. I don't listen to I don't read none of that shit. You don't listen to that shit? Hell no. Fuck him. I'm already rich. What the fuck I'm looking at the comments for?
So check this out. Now you got my man Rougarou, Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is putting the phone in Jermall Charlo's face like, hey, you see what the fans are saying. You see they calling you out about what David Benavidez just said. And he looking at Jermall Charlo like, hey, man, you gonna fight Benavidez? And this man talking about, I don't read the comments. F him. I'm already rich. What is you already rich having to do with them calling you out and your man putting you on the spot because you was trying to pretend like you didn't see what was in the comments? Everybody in the comments calling you a duck, and is you going to respond to what David Benavidez say? You trying to pretend like you don't see it, right? And then you come back with, I don't look at the comments, man. I'm already rich. Why I'm going to look at the comments for? But your man's is putting you on the spot and telling you what they saying. So if you pretending like you don't see the comments, your man is putting you on the spot. Is you gonna fight David Benavidez? What's happening? What's up? I don't read the comments. And he's just continue to show what David Benavidez called him and said that he was gonna do. He's proven David Benavidez right each and every time. I mean, now it's like David Benavidez is actually bullying Jermall Charlo. You know what I'm saying? And now it's kind of like, David Benavidez, leave this man alone. You bullying him. You see the man is afraid of you. You see the man don't want to fight you. Like, leave him alone. That's what it's coming down to. Leave him alone. David Benavidez, leave him alone, man. He don't want to fight you. Like, you really, like, we got to start protecting Jermall Charlo from the big bully. You know what I'm saying? We got to start protecting this man from the bully. That's what this is now. It's bullying. You know what I'm saying? The big bully, we need to come and cradle. We need to all gather around Jermall Charlo, right? We need to all gather around Jermall Charlo and protect him from the big bully. Because the big bad bully, David Benavidez, is coming for his helmet and he won't stop. You know what I'm saying? We need to all put our arms around Jermall Charlo, gather around him. We need to protect him from the bully. Because now this shit has gone too far. You know what I'm saying? We need to protect him from the bully. And it's crazy. It's crazy because Jermall Charlo talk a whole lot of shit into David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade's name come up. And it's like, man, what happened? What happened to all of that tough talk that you was talking before David Benavidez came around the corner? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I'm talking, and I'm talking real loud. He come around, I quit talking, but when he leave again, I'm going to be talking again. That's Jermall Charlo when David Benavidez come around that corner. That shit crazy. Knockout Boxer 86 TV says, hell no. Nah. He say Charlo acting like he from Omaha and not from Texas. He says that's some Nebraska shit. He says he ain't from here no more. Hey, Juan Ramos said nigga can't even make. Come on, Juan. Hey, he from your city. That's how y'all riding out there in Houston. Juan, I need an explanation for this. Charlo out here, you know, he getting bullied. We got to protect him. We got to put our arms around him. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on with Maul? World Combat says, I want to know by action. He says, I want to know by action what Maul doing, not by his jaws being activated. Well, your action, he ain't doing nothing because he had, you know what I'm saying? He had a chance to fight David Benavidez right now. It could have been Jermall Charlo in there against David Benavidez instead of Uzgatiki or Kyron Davis. He gave you, you know what I'm saying, his action. He said he ain't want to get in the ring with him. It ain't no chill, One, it ain't no chill. We need an explanation for how Jermall Charlo moving out there. Warren Ramos said he making the H look weak, man. He said he gotta see him for real. He gotta see it, man. He gotta see him. He gotta see him, man, for real. He got to see him. Talking about, oh, I'm rich. I don't look at, well, okay, rich. Ain't nobody asked you how rich. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all notice every time Jermall Charlo get backed in the corner, he want to come back with and talk about how much money he got or how big his house is? Bro, ain't nobody asked you that. We seen your house. We've seen our access. We know how rich you are. That's cool. We talking about, do you want to get to smoke with one of these men that keep calling you out? And we ain't asking you how rich you are. Knockout say Charlo didn't let Andrade and Benavidez pull his card. Lil Charlo, he said, getting slapped by Jared Hurd. Shit look bad out here. Man, I'm telling you. Man, the Charlos is, man, they putting the city on in a bad way. Smooth Groove Boxing, what's happening with it? In that super chat, salute to you coming through, always showing love and support. He says, I swear we don't move like that in Texas. He says he couldn't have been bred on Texas. Well, yeah, he actually from Louisiana. So to give y'all some slack, he just live in Houston. He's actually from Louisiana. If y'all want to, that's the truth. That's a fact. He actually wasn't born and bred in Texas. He actually from Louisiana. J.A. Dixon said, Marlo, that weak shit sounded like Jacobs with that I'm touching M's talk. Yeah. Man, I'm touching M's. Okay, ain't nobody asked you that, bro. That ain't what we asking you. We asking you, do you want this smoke or not? Jay Smith said Charlo want David to come move in the big house. Man, dude looking bad out here. Jermaine Bean says Charlo been in Houston since they were 5 years old. I know that, but I'm saying he wasn't born in Houston if that's where they want to, if that's where they want to go with that. Knockout Boxing 86 says, hell yeah, they can have him back. We want he said we want to propose a trade. We give Louisiana to Charlos and we take Regis, a 2-for-1 trade. Dang, y'all, man. Texas don't want him no more. Dundada say we still want to see Charlo and Jacobs mix it up and Danny Jacobs pressed up on Charlo. We still never got that. Like I said, we ain't never seen Jermall Charlo fight nobody at 160 except for Derby and Chico. That's his best opponent in like almost 6 years. In almost 6 years, Jermall Charlo got one fighter on his resume, and that's Derby and Chinko. But we crying about Canelo? Come on now. Let that shit sink in. We crying about Canelo, but we got Jermall Charlo ain't fought. He got one fighter, a B-level fighter on his resume in almost 6 years. Come on now. We got to stop this shit. Smooth Groove Boxing. He says, I knew it. We scratched down here. He said, we scratched down here in the Lone Star State. He says, I approve that trade knockout. Man, they trying to get rid of Jermall Charlo now. Y'all, man, let him live a little bit. Let him live. Y'all ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Give him one more chance. You know what I'm saying? Give him one more chance. Hey, Jermaine Bean says Charlo ran his mouth with the IG video about breaking his neck. He did think Benavidez would bite down like this, he says, and not let go. Yeah, Benavidez has been on his helmet ever since. Ever since. World Combat says Charlo C wasn't birthed in the H. He says the runts of the litter raised in a big backyard. He says them runts of the litter raised in a big backyard. Anthony Johnson says Jermall shouldn't get a shot over David. I don't think so neither. You know what I'm saying? Not when you blatantly ducking. You ain't got two opponents that you ducking. I mean, you don't got one opponent that you ducking. You ducking two opponents. So, like I said last time, how can I advocate for you to get a shot over David Benavidez when David Benavidez is the man that's calling you every name in the book and you ducking him after you call him out? Now, see, I would be speaking on this a little different if David Benavidez had came out and he had just started calling out Jermall Charlo. You know what I'm saying? If David Benavidez had came out and he had to just start calling out Jermall Charlo, then I would have been like, okay, well, Jermall Charlo ain't got to answer that. You know what I'm saying? They in different weight classes. David Benavidez need to focus on somebody in his weight class. But you came out and you called out him, and then you doubled up on it. You doubled up on it. Y'all forget that he called him out and then he doubled up on it on the Last Stand podcast and said he would knock out David Benavidez. So you call him out and then you ran and hid. Man, that shit crazy. That's why I'm on his helmet so hard. So how can you get to skip over a man that you called out and then you start ducking him? And then you got another guy that you ducking and Demetrius Andrade, and you trying to use an excuse that he didn't fight your brother. Okay, cool. That he pulled out in the fight with your brother. That's cool. I feel you. But you know what I'm saying? The statute of limitation on that excuse, that shit ran out. You know what I'm saying? You can't continue to use that same excuse and use it when that man got a title in your weight division. And like I said before, when I was talking about the Canelo situation, I thought that it was everybody's goal to become undisputed if possible. Y'all make that make sense to me. My man, Big Money, Texas Toledo off in the building. What's happening with it? What's good with it? Let me see. See what else. My man Jermaine Bean in that super chat once again coming through showing love. He says Charlo will fight Munguia since he's back now. You talking about Munguia? Is that who you talking about? I don't know who he gonna fight, but man, hey, he looking bad out here. Dundada says, looks like Munguia gonna get GGG over Charlo and Andrade. Well, Munguia don't even want no parts of Charlo and Andrade at all. Big Money Texas Toledo says all facts. Now, so with all of this being said, who does Jermall Charlo fight next if he don't get a Canelo Alvarez fight? If Jermall Charlo stays at 160, and I'm saying because he can easily move up to 168. The man is big, super big for the weight division, right? So he can easily move up, right? So if he stay at 160, who does he fight? If he don't get a Canelo Alvarez fight, he said Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe. I don't like that. I don't like a Willie Monroe fight because that's another like C-level fighter that, like, he needs to really fight somebody that's gonna give him, somebody a name that we could say, okay, you know what I'm saying? He finally fought somebody else. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up, and what I'm doing is I'm pulling up Willie Monroe's box rec. Let me see what he's done. I haven't heard nothing from Willie Monroe in a long time. I'm gonna pull up his box. I'm pulling up his box rec right now. Let me see. And he could box. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't on no Jermall Charlo level. So Willie Monroe is 24 wins, 3 losses, and he only got 6 KOs. So he don't pose no type of threat to Jermall Charlo. He already lost to Billy Joe by unanimous decision. Billy Joe beat him easily. Billy Joe went out there and whooped him. He got knocked out by Gennady Golovkin. And he ain't fought since 2019. He hasn't fought in almost 3 years. June of 2019. So by the time that you see Willie Monroe, if he got a fight with Jermall Charlo, that means he would have been out of the ring damn near 3 years. Basically 3 years. That's not a fight that I want to see. I don't want to see Willie Monroe against a Jermall Charlo. Like I said, he ain't fought in almost 3 years. Lara, Dundada, great. That's what I want to see. Lara used to be trained by his trainer. He left Ronnie Shields. They've trained together. They've sparred each other. Get in the ring with Lara. Why you don't want to get in the ring with Lara? And I've heard Lara call him out. Lara. That's what I want to see. And y'all excuse me, I'm eating these chips, man. These chips is good as hell. These crackers. Let me see. That's what we need to see. If Jermall Charlo, he said Lara's back with Ronnie Shields. Damn. I guess we won't see that fight. I ain't know that. I didn't know Lara was back with Ronnie Shields. Even Chris Eubank Jr. I like to see that. So, if Jermall Charlo don't get the Canelo Alvarez fight and Benavidez ends up getting the Canelo Alvarez fight, I like to see him I'd like to see him fight somebody like Chris Eubank Jr. And the reason I'm saying Chris Eubank is because at 160, everybody else is pretty much sold up. You got Triple G finna fight Murata. You got Jaime Munguia. We know he don't want no parts of Jermall Charlo, and he just fought. We got Murata. He finna fight Triple G. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really don't really got too many. I mean, you really don't got nobody. You don't want to fight Andrade. You ducking him. That's the fight that needs to be made. Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. Quit, you know what I'm saying? Quit with the BS. Go and fight the man. You know, Eddie Hearn, and I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, because Eddie Hearn do lie a lot. But he did show a text, and he did show proof that he offered Jermall Charlo $7 million to fight Demetrius Andrade, and Jermall Charlo didn't respond. So, think about that. He offered Jermall Charlo $7 million to fight Demetrius Andrade, and Jermall Charlo never responded. So, I don't know. Y'all, you know, y'all can think what y'all want to think about that. I'm just giving it to y'all. He offered him $7 million to fight Demetrius Andrade, and Jermall Charlo never responded to the text message or the email, whatever it was, email, text message, same thing. I don't know. And y'all smash on the like button. If you ain't hit the like button, smash on the like button. Oh, my bad. I missed the super chat. My man Jermaine Bean off in that super chat again. Salute. He says Charlo ran his mouth with the IG video about breaking his. Oh, I think I did read that. Breaking his neck. He said he didn't. Oh, yeah, I read that one already. So, yeah, you know, the man got offered $7 million according to Eddie Hearn, and he showed the proof. And my man Jermall Charlo never responded. What y'all think about that? I want to know what y'all think about that. Dundada says Lara, Andrade, and Charlo were all at 154 pounds, but none of them fought each other. Now, Dundada, one more time. I'm going to read what he said. Lara, Andrade, Charlo were all at 154 pounds, and none of them fought each other. But the only man that we want to talk about not fighting them at 154, and actually, he fought one of them men, is Canelo Alvarez. That's the only one we talk about, and Canelo fought one of them. But the only one we talk about and give crap to is Canelo, but the rest of them, we don't say nothing about. They ain't fought. You know what I'm saying? They was all at 154 at the same time and didn't fight each other. Well, Ronnie said it was cap, but hey, Ronnie said it wasn't true, but at the same time, is Eddie Hearn showed the offer. And we've seen Eddie Hearn and we've seen Demetrius Andrade call out Jermall Charlo several times in public. So which one is lying? And Eddie Hearn showed the email that he sent to Jermall Charlo. He showed the email. So I'm just saying, y'all can take that how you want to. Knockout Boxing 86 TV says all facts, bro. He says, that's why I rock with you. He says, keep it real on all fighters at all times. My brother from another. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you another one that always keep it real. Whether people going, everybody else with other channels is going with the same there. I don't do all of that. We all men, we all got our own brain. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm not gonna mislead you and give false information or try to run with a false narrative because I think that everybody forgot. Man, these chips is good. I'm hungry too. I'm about to get me something to eat as soon as I get off of here. And y'all hit that like button. Y'all smash on the like button. And it is fight week. I didn't talk about Terrence Crawford and Porter today because we got the whole week. My man, where my man at? World Combat. I hope World Combat didn't blow his wad because World Combat came in here on Friday and he went extra hard. You know what I'm saying? I tried to save some for this week. World Combat just went hard. He went all the way in. So I saved some. You know what I'm saying? I still got a lot more. I got a lot more when we talk about this Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford and a potential fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. The reason I didn't say Errol Spence and Sean Porter because they already fought, but I really don't think that Errol Spence is going to rematch him if Sean Porter ends up winning. I think Errol Spence might just end up going to 154. But anyway, and then if Errol Spence do go to 154, what does that say for Jermall Charlo? A lot of things to be talked about. But like I said, we got a whole week of boxing. This is fight week. I can't wait to the weekend to this big fight that we all been waiting for a long time. And we finally gonna get it. Before I get up out of here, make sure that y'all smash on my like button. Make sure that y'all tune in tomorrow because we gonna be cooking. I'll probably open up the phone lines tomorrow for y'all. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And hit the like button. And I will be back tomorrow. I appreciate y'all. And I'm gone.